Black Box Radio. We have tonight, of course, it's the FiTT TWiNS, of course. So we have D.Amaadi.
Hey.
And then we have a special guest tonight, Miss Noni Brown. So we're going to introduce you to the Black Boxers. So, Miss Noni, tell us who you are, what you do, and then D.Amaadi, you're going to talk a little, and then we're going to just jump in.
Absolutely. Well, it's a pleasure to be on the show. When Dee mentioned that she wanted me to come on the show, I absolutely was floored. The first question I asked her is like, what are we going to talk about? She's like, you girl. So a little bit about me. So I'm Noni. You'll hear my accent. I'm Jamaican by birth. So I've lived here for a long time. My family is here. My mom and dad are in Brooklyn, and my sisters are active duty military and one retired military, and they're sprinkled throughout. I mentioned them because one of them in particular is very pivotal in this direction of my life. And I'll talk to you about that some more. But who I am is I am a woman who is on a mission or on a path to just really help women in my community, as I did with my sister, on finding alternative ways to take care of their bodies. There are things that we deal with monthly in terms of our cycle, in terms of our lifestyle, that we are doing a disservice to ourselves, and we don't know that there are alternatives to surgery, alternatives to other medicine. So my job is really, or my purpose, I believe, is to reinject traditional therapies into contemporary lifestyle. So that's who I am in a nutshell. And I'm also the mother of a beautiful baby girl. Well, she's not a baby, she's 10, but she's my baby girl. So that's me in a nutshell. Everything else is the gravy, but the core of me, that's who I am.
Okay, and you have a business, don't you?
Yes, I do. I am a business owner. So the name of my business is Wombmenthings. Wombmenthings is a online store as well as we have a brick and mortar space. I will give the location. It's we're doing some renovations. I'm in one of the studio spaces right now, and everything will be up and running again back in March. I went through some personal growth last year, as I guess all of us did with COVID, and it brought me to the other side of happiness. And I'm just in the process of sprinkling that joy into my business again. So Wombmenthings is where you can purchase Yoni steam supplies. It's also where you can either take one of my courses. I've written 3 e-courses for women who are looking to do the service on other women as well. And also I'm a trained massage therapist, as well as fertility massage specialist and prenatal massage specialist. So I work with women in my studio space as well.
So can you tell us what is, I think you said Yoni steam? Now I've had one. I have to attest that I have had one of hers.
You got to tell us what that is, sis.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Dee is just such an amazing person. Since the day I met her, she's just been so supportive of everything. She came to my then studio space in Charles Village and received a service from me. So Yoni steam, as it's called, or V steam or vaginal steam, is an ancient, it's not anything new. We're talking about it now, but it's nothing new. It's a healing therapy that's geared towards using steam and certain herbs to promote circulation in the womb space. The service actually, it tones, tightens, regulates, and helps with the menstrual cycle. So it has a lot of different benefits. It traditionally came about as a way for women to take care of themselves postpartum. So way back in the day, there wasn't any 8 weeks off of working, right? So women had to have the baby, strap the baby on their back, and go right back to work. So tribal women, medicinal women in the community would find these different herbs, and they would offer this therapy to women as a way to help them to get their bodies back to normal postpartum. So throughout the years, the service we've found through different research and other women who have steamed, that it helps with regulating the menstrual cycle, and with all the other things that are happening to women now, like endometriosis and PCOS and things like that, fibroids, which is very rampant in the Black community in women. So those things they have different, they have different side effects or different symptoms. So what happens is yoni steam helps to regulate those things. So for example, with fibroids, if you have really bad fibroids, you're bleeding excessively. Your quality of life is reduced because you are constantly doubled over in pain. There is intense back pain. There is definitely a heaviness. You're losing a lot of blood. So imagine a woman like that trying to still function and still do all the things she has to do. So I have one client in particular, and that was definitely her. When we steam with a certain intention and we use a certain blend. And with her, she was able to, and I kid you not, after one session, her following cycle, she was actually working. She was able to work through her cycle. She was able to maintain her life. So testimony like that is why I keep it going. You know what I mean? I love hearing people trying alternative ways, safer ways than popping a pill or just doubled over and crying. So it's a different way for you to take care of yourself.
So yoni steam is a form of self-care, but it's also, is this a form of cleansing or a spiritual kind of cleanse?
So it has, absolutely, it has spiritual, physical, and emotional benefits. Spiritual for sure, because it's definitely a way for you to feel. I can't explain it. I often tell people yoni steaming for me is like giving yourself a nice hug on the inside, right? It gives you this euphoric feeling, but it also makes you feel like you're just taking care of yourself in a way that you probably never have before. It also gives this feeling of cleanliness. So we know the vagina is a self-cleaning situation, right? We know she can take care of herself, but if she's not healthy or if there's something wrong or if the pH is off, she's not able to function at her best. So this is a therapy that supports her getting back into her groove, right? So that's what I would say about it.
So that's an interesting point. And I know that, Queen, you have a list of questions, but I know we all also go with the flow. pH balance is super, super important for men and for women, but specifically for women, for the viewers watching this, can you tell them some of some of the signs that may come up if they are not pH balanced?
Absolutely. So the first thing we want to know is that the vagina is acidic, right? So when that means acidic, so it borders around like a 3 to a 4 in terms of the pH level. Neutral is around 7, and then men, their sperm, and I'll tell you why I talk about them in a second. Their sperm is alkaline. Whenever women have sex with their partners, their male partners, if there is any kind of ejaculation inside the vagina, and she as a woman does not allow that semen to pass out, if it sits inside of it, that if all of that alkaline sits in that naturally acidic space, it's like it throws off the pH. So you'll know your pH is off balance. So that's just one scenario. So you'll know it's off balance because there's an odor. It doesn't smell like how a vagina is supposed to smell. It maybe consistency with the secretion is a little bit more not tacky, because that's normal, but the color may look a little bit off. And there may be some itching or things like that. So you'll know because she'll definitely tell you that something is off.
Yeah, pH is very important. And also when it comes to organisms and yeast, pH is very important to control all of those.
Right. And we do know that we have natural bacteria in that area. So it's important that, and one of the reasons why I started my Yoni steam training is because when I try to do it, So when I did my research and started becoming a practitioner, I realized there were people in my area and people in the surrounding cities that were giving people steams for like an hour or so. And it's great and all if that's what you want to do, but we all know that too much moisture down there, what it can do, right? So too much of a good thing. So I felt like it was important to educate women that longer isn't always better, right? Don't feel like because you only got a 30-minute session that you got gypped. That's what you need. You don't need anything longer than that, right? So those are the things that I feel strongly about, and those are the things that I feel like women in the community need to know about, because good bacteria needs to stay there. We don't need to disturb the vaginal flora. Too much exposure to some things will be adverse. So we got to listen to our body, but do it all in moderation.
Because you know, when you try something new or it feels good, you want to sit there for 2 hours. You know how you get in a bathtub.
Oh, no. It's like a perm, you know, you want to perm your hair out. And I use that because that's one of the most basic examples that us as, women of color know about. You put that perm on your hair, old school ways is like, it's not straight if it's not burning. No, that's wrong, right? But you can't sit there for forever and a day with the perm. You got to wash it out when it's time, and what you got to do.
So, but D, we definitely want to introduce yourself so people know what you do, and then say who D.Amaadi. We got to know what the other twin is.
Oh, well, my name is D.Amaadi Queen, aka the belly therapist and founder of FiTT TWiNS. I basically help postpartum mothers of color heal their bellies while celebrating their bodies. And so I'm a certified personal trainer, group X instructor, and the belly therapist. So I basically help moms get their midsection healed. And what does that mean? That means that a lot of times, actually 1/3 of women who have children, a year after their child is born, there's a separation that is there in the six-pack abs. Six-pack abs are literally separated from one another. And in between the six-pack abs is this connective tissue that gets taken along for the ride in the separation. So if you can imagine that connective tissue, like Play-Doh or silly putty, and it's being stretched from right to left along with those muscles opening up, it gets thinner and it gets weaker. And someone would say, okay, well, what's the big deal? The big deal is that now the organs behind it, like the reproductive organs that Noni works with, are not sufficiently supported, because if the muscles are closed, now they're supported. The lower back is supported, the organs are supported. And so now there's some signs and symptoms that might come up. A lot of reproductive issues might come up, like you might have longer periods, heavier periods, painful sex, uterine prolapse, you might have urinary incontinence, you might have constipation moving into the digestion, you might have irritable bowel syndrome, bloating after you eat, lower back pain. If you can imagine your lower back and your belly, and this is, healed, it's in place. But a lot of times after we have children, it kind of spills forward and we think it's fat. And a lot of times it's not really all fat. It's just that it's separated and our guts literally are spilling forward. So what's happening to the lower back? It's being pulled forward. So now we've got a little arch in the lower back, and that's a lot of pressure on that back because it's being pulled forward along with the other organs. And so what's the big deal about that other than the lower back pain? Well, if your organs are spilling forward, that means they're not in the right position. And if they're not in the right position, they're probably not going to function optimally. So we want to get them back in the proper position, but we have to close the muscles to give it that sufficient support. So I help women naturally close it through breath-based technique.
So can fat do that too? Because some women, never had any babies and their belly on the ground.
So some women have not had babies and still have separation. I've had male clients. I've had a 70-plus-year-old white man that took my belly therapy, and he actually did way better than a lot of the women did.
Wow.
So this is not mom specific. This is a medical condition that can affect children. It can affect men. It can affect women that have not had children, because we're all born with one. And sometimes it doesn't close. Sometimes it closes, but it reopens. And if you had rapid weight gain, such as pregnancy, you can definitely get some of that separation called diastasis. That's the Latin medical term, Diastasis Recti. And diastasis just means separation. There's another word for separation, and recti are the actual muscles that are separated. So what a lot of women find is once they've closed their separation, their skin is tighter, because a lot of times after you have a baby, it might be a little bit of loose skin on the belly. You might have stretch marks. So your waist gets a bit wider, all these things. And so after they've taken my program, their skin is a little different. Their stretch marks are a little different. Their waistline comes in, so it's more hourglass shaped. And there's a lot of women that take this program have said they experience a lot of back pain, lower back pain. And it has decreased as they've gone through the program. So we're getting a lot of progress over here.
Awesome.
Because a lot of women talk about the black girl dip. You know that black girl. I told you about the black girl dip.
You got the black girl dip, right?
Yeah, that black girl dip, Sister Noni. You know about the black girl dip?
Oh, please educate me.
Noni got the black girl dip. Noni got the black girl dip.
You better get your dip together, sis. The dip is between like your lower back and your butt. That between your back, and your that dip.
Yeah.
And you carrying that dunk. Dip carries the dunk. And so if you carry it for a few years, sometimes she gets a little sore.
Okay.
So I was telling her that I was having problems with my black girl dip. And someone told me I should go to a chiropractor. I did some yoga, but strengthen your core. Your core is the number one thing to start dealing with. So I started planking, and it's getting better and better.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah, I plank every morning. So it's definitely gotten much better.
How long?
But that black girl dip can have you up at night, no. You don't know nothing about that. Your dip must be the secure. You're doing all of that yoni steam. Your dip is all out.
My dip is hereditary, so I feel like some way, somehow I'm carrying it pretty okay. If you see my mama, you know.
I get one from my mama too. This is hereditary dip, but sometimes she hurts. But you probably steam your hurt out. I ain't never did no steam, so maybe that's it. So let me ask you a question. Now, everything they do out here is in flavors.
Right.
They got, the grape blunts. Is the steam like that? You know what I'm saying? This is what people
I know. So with me, I have different blends. Of course, there are different herbal blends that you can put together. I wouldn't say flavors, but they're definitely different blends. So with my thing, it's not so much scent geared. It's what you want your outcome to be. So the service within itself can help with a myriad of different things. But if I have someone that comes in to say to me that they're specifically working on trying to get pregnant, they are trying to conceive with their partner, we would set up a treatment plan. And what that looks like is steaming at a specific time of the month that would result in better possibility of conception. And then also too, it would be a specific blend. So I would use a specific blend for her for what she's trying to do, but it wouldn't be flavor based. It would be more like that cocktail, a blend of herbs that support fertility or nourishing the womb, or whatever her intention is. So the intake form for me with my clients and our consultation is absolutely important, because people sometimes don't write the truth. And what I realized over the years is talking about your vagina or the health of your vagina or the state of your vagina is a very personal topic for a lot of people, for a good reason, right? But when you come to me, and if you're looking for results or if you're looking for a certain outcome, we have to talk on that level. So we have to develop some kind of rapport, and I have to know what it is that's really going on. So I use that time to talk. Sometimes you got to ask a question 2 different ways to really get the truth. And, once I get the information, we set up a treatment plan, gain consent, and move forward.
Okay. Let me ask you, and I'm asking questions I think women would ask.
Sure.
Like when it comes, because some women say, they want to be tighter, in their vaginal wall. Is that something that's, I hear it all the time.
No, that's the thing.
Is that something
That's an absolute thing that can happen. So when you say tighter, we're looking for toning herbs. So I think of things like red raspberry is what I'll use primarily. And I'm just thinking of something randomly off the top. But it's ideal for postpartum mommies, things like that. And then of course, women over time, they may feel like they want to do that. So it's not going to be where you I have had one lady told me that sex was her partner said she felt different. I did not go into that, but there are people that report things to me, you know, they'll send me a random message on inbox in the middle of the night, and I just gotta like, okay, do your thing, you know? So people report things back. So I will say that's not my goal when I steam. I don't need to worry about that, thankfully. But for people that do need that, it definitely does give those results as well.
Okay, you know that's the thing. You know, some of these girls on water thing out. They need to.
Why did I know you were gonna say that, Queen? Oh my God, you just went
We need
there.
to bring that thing back together.
Yeah.
Listen, listen, it's real talk out here. We got to do real talk.
You know what? It's
And
there. They can freely use it how they want to. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. So steam, is that like warm? Because steam is usually heat.
Yeah, so it's actually water that's boiled. So just going through the protocol, I use about 2 to 3 quarts of water, boil it. It has to be boiling. I make my herbs here at my studio, and I put them in a tea bag just for me to be able to uh clean up after and not deal with the loose herbs. So I drop it's like 3 tablespoons compressed in a tea bag. I put them in there and I let it sit for a little while, turn the flame down to like low, or turn whatever apparatus I'm using to warm it up down to low. And then I transfer it to the Yoni chair. Now, heat or steam or temperature is relative. So I test it. And of course, I have my client check it to see if it feels comfortable for them. You want to make sure that before you sit down there, you don't want to cook her. You want her to feel like she's getting a facial, like, you know, a facial, but for your Yoni. So I have them check on the inside of their forearm, just like you do with your little baby with the milk. And once it's good, then that's fine. I do check on my client while they're seated at least once. And then, of course, if it's too warm or too cold for them, then I can regulate. I'm very careful about, oh, it's not hot enough. I don't necessarily work on it's not hot enough. I know it's boiling water that was applied in that pot. So I try to turn it up some, but because I know about first-degree burns and so on, I just make sure that I just leave it at a temperature that is universally good, and we'll work from there. It is like a detox for the client, so I often recommend that you drink a lot of water for optimal results, because you don't want to have a headache or abdominal cramping the following morning.
Steaming kind of promotes like a sweating. So you're saying that that's the like detoxification that happens during the process is like
to some extent, it's
sweating.
It's more like the herbs that are used and what it does in terms of it helps your body to sweat out, and then also sometimes urine, you know, things like that. And then sometimes things are moving around that we want to just flush out as it goes into the bloodstream. So we want to eliminate so it can come out, you know, sweat different ways. But we often tell clients that you want to just keep drinking lots and lots of water, because it'll help to, you know, regulate your body temperature as you're sitting there going through that. I make these Yoni gowns for you to sit in. Normally, some people use a cloak with a hood. I like the gowns that they come up to under here, because it's not totally covered. You're not completely hot. So you're not going to be, you know, if you do feel hot or you do sweat, your skin will cool down. It's not completely cloaked like that.
So you do the bath steams. What else do you do? You said you massage. Do you do massage?
Yeah. So so with my massage business, I do prenatal massage. I do fertility massage. I do, you know, the regular Swedish and deep tissue massages. I do lymphatic drainage massage. I also do cavitation. So this is a tricky subject for me and Dee, so I'm going to skim over this. Cavitation is using a device to help to, we're not getting rid of fat. We're just emptying some of the fat cells, and the body in some cases will eliminate it through, you know, pooping or peeing or what have you. So it gives the appearance of slimmer along certain areas. But of course, for more long-term results, I would say connect with somebody like me. But for a quick,
So wait a minute, hold up. You know I'm gonna ask a question about that. So you telling me you touch me and the fat falls off? I'm coming up.
I touch you in a repeated several sessions way, and you will see results. And but because Dee would appreciate this, because I was also a client of hers before COVID happened. It's also a lifestyle change, so you can do that to jumpstart it, but through diet and exercise. Is that what you want me to say, Dee?
Nope, I want you to be you.
No, she want to say breathing, diet.
I am team.
No, I subscribe to what she's saying. I totally agree with it. I don't want anyone to believe that sitting on a table is the easiest way to do things. But it's, to me, I know for me, if I lose 10 pounds, it makes me feel like I can lose 20 pounds or 30 pounds. So sometimes people just need that little jump start, or maybe they need to just lose a little bit to get into a dress, or maybe there's a function or event. So what the cavitation does, it helps to melt or empty the fat cells so that you can look or appear. But I would definitely encourage a healthy lifestyle to support maintaining that. So about 6 sessions, and
6 sessions, and I'm down a whole dress size. Oh yes.
Now, and I literally, so Old School Bruja, she is one of my best clients. So she supports me in a lot of ways. I sponsor her radio show. So she comes into the studio and I remember one day we measured her waist, and by the time the session was done, hand to God, she lost 3 inches around her waist. We looked, and I wait.
What's the name of that? What's the name of that, sis? What's the name of that? Cavitation? I gotta write that down.
That's called cardio. Not cavitation, cardio.
That too. So there's a place for both of us. Huh?
3 inches in an hour.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna need glasses.
But that got me thinking because what you're doing and what I'm doing actually complement each other.
Absolutely. That's what I was getting ready to say. So
I think y'all do it all on me, and then I'll be your model.
Hey, there we go. We can do that. So I believe that if you jumpstart things and then you start adapting a more healthier lifestyle, it works, you know? Sometimes people just need a little push in the right direction, or see the scale going in the right direction instead of the wrong direction.
Or
I know for me right now, my clients, especially when it comes to stress, when stress level goes up, your cortisol level goes up. Sometimes your estrogen level also goes up. Estrogen is the worst. The estrogen dominance in our body is not necessarily good, because it feeds fibroids. It feeds all these other hormone issues that we have. And those are the things that bring them back to me, because having like large fibroids is like carrying a little baby inside your belly sometimes. And those are the things that keep women up at night, have these problematic cycles. So I think if we get rid of stress, you know, whatever we need to do. So if it's losing weight to make you feel good about yourself, if it's sitting on a yoni chair to just have this nice euphoric feeling, then go ahead. Now, one of the other things, Queen, that I did not share with you, women have reported after steaming that they feel very loving after. Right? Extremely low. Of course, some of them feel sleepy and tired, but a good majority of them feel very friendly.
Is it safe for them to be friendly?
Absolutely. It's safe. It's indicated. It's necessary. Do it. Yeah.
So it's a euphoric feeling then you're getting from this.
Yeah.
I can understand that. And so, you know, and that's what steam really does too. When you like go in the steam room, it's relaxing, it's euphoria. And I can't imagine my girl getting it. Oh my Lord, have mercy.
She'll be busy.
I love that.
So let me ask, with the vag steam, when is it not okay for a woman to have it?
Perfect question. So it's contraindicated if there is a cut or a tear, or if there is some kind of blister from an infection, or from even a blade or a wax. If there's any kind of cut down there, you don't do it. If she is pregnant, absolutely do not steam, because the steaming will contract the cervix, and we don't want to have any premature birth or worse. The other time is, of course, when she's bleeding. If you're having your menstrual cycle at that moment, do not steam. Also, if you have a fever is indicative that there's some kind of infection going on somewhere, or if you have some kind of reproductive infection, and I don't mean like I don't mean like a STI. I mean like some kind of cervical cancer type situation. So those are times where it's not indicated.
I'm coming back. I actually had planned to do it multiple times a year, maybe not once a month, even though I would love to have that feeling. But having done it, I will have to admit, it was weird at first. Because I'm like, wait, because I've been in a sauna before, right? And that's different because that's the whole body, you know. And I've had a facial before, and I've even had a vajacial. But for it to be a yoni steam, I'm like, but it was great, huh?
Tell me what a vajacial is.
What's a vajacial? What is
a vajacial is a facial, but for the vajayjay. You get steam down there. You get.
I didn't know the girl get facials.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they do all these different things, and maybe you might have an ingrown, a steam, and they do all kind of pampering. Some people even bedazzle it.
Really?
Well, it's hard to let somebody play with your stuff this much. You know, that's a lot.
But and that's not something I subscribe to. But like some people put like a little heart, like right on the mons pubis area, so it's not.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't get that package. I promise. I didn't get that package.
You wouldn't have wanted that one, but yeah, there are people that do stuff like that. But I have a student. She's like, you know, all my students are great, but this girl, when I think of her, Brianna, she is I believe her studio is either in Ricestone or Owens Mills. I know she relocated, but she is doing it. You know what I mean? She's an esthetician, so she does the yoni steams and she does the waxing and she does all these other things, and she's definitely doing it. And that's one of the things that I love, when people invest in their education, invest in what they want to do, and they come out and, you know, really be present, really show up, really learn and apply what they learn to their business to make money. And I think, if for nothing else, COVID, among other things, has taught me that you definitely need to have something in your back pocket. You know, Maryland shut me down. You know, Governor Hogan said, no, your business cannot open. And thankfully, I had my online course, and thankfully, I had my Etsy shop. Otherwise, I wouldn't know readily what to do, because this wellness has been my life for the past 11 years. I left banking, and this is all I've been doing. So for me, thankfully, I had things lined up. And with my students, I often encourage them, even if you aren't ready to dive in it full time, you don't want to leave your 9 to 5, that's fine, but have something else to fall back on, or have something to support what you have going on.
Now that's an interesting point. So what, from your point of view, and just dealing with a lot of your clients, what do you think complements that's needed? What would complement the badge steam?
In terms of what, like another service?
Yeah.
So there's a service, a package that I came up with. It's called the Goddess Session. So you would do, it's like an hour and a half. You would have a 30-minute session where we do the intake and you do the yoni steam. And then you would lay on the table and I would give you a massage. Now, why I put the two together in that particular sequence, if you're steaming at home, the best time to steam is at night when you're relaxed, when you're, you know, because you'll get the best sleep of your life. You know, my sister can attest to that. Like, she is ex-military, and, you know, sometimes sleeping is the hardest thing to do with, you know, PTSD or different things. And with her, when she steams, one of the best side effects for her is that she has a good restful night's sleep without having to medicate to sleep, right? So why I like to do it that way is you steam and then your body can relax laying on the table. And when you're relaxed, it makes me be able to do my job better. I'm not getting the opposition when I'm moving your arms. You're just laying there and you're allowing your body to rest, allowing it to receive the herbs, allowing your body just to completely be in a state of just bliss. You know, when you walk away, you're floating. And I'm not saying it to toot my horn, but it's a good sequence. And if you're not doing a massage after, then I would suggest like chakra balancing or Reiki, because from an energetic perspective, you just activated a lot of sacral chakra stuff. So we might need to balance the rest. So those are some services that I would recommend.
Mm. You know, I got my first attunement in Reiki. I'm Reiki level 1, but I don't practice it.
Why?
I don't know. It's weird because I was so
Wait.
gung ho about it. Navasha gave me my first attunement.
Oh, okay. But you know what I think too? We may say we don't practice it, but I believe you do it every
I
day.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
How
do. Yeah.
touch your partner, you touch your kids, if something's going on, that's just that you're transferring that healing energy to them.
Yeah. I don't advertise it, I should say.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't advertise it. Yeah.
Yep.
If you don't live with me, you don't get it.
But I'll tell everybody that if we're doing massage, you're getting a Reiki session without even knowing it. And the first time I became aware that I was even doing it, I was working at Massage Envy years ago, and I had one of my clients. She's a school teacher, and she had like a really rough day. She came to the studio. She came to the clinic. She got a massage. So with massage, when you're done with your client, you do a hold, a closing hold. It helps you to kind of seal the massage, and it also helps your client to know that you're done. So I lingered there a little as I was holding her shoulder with both my palms. In my mind, I was also praying for her, not intentionally, but I was just saying, I hope you have a better day. And I was just saying some affirmations in my mind. As I was walking through the door, she said, Noni, that felt so good. She's like, were you praying for me? And I was just like, I didn't know what to say because, prayer here is so taboo with certain type of people. So when she said it to me, I said, yeah. She's like, I knew it because I felt it. So I went in the break room and I was talking, and one of my coworkers said, maybe you should look into Reiki. And that was when I started realizing that touch is intentional and people can receive it and people can feel it. So
And you can actually do Reiki long distance. I didn't
yeah,
realize that.
that's
You can
what's that, the third,
distance.
second level? Mm-hmm.
I think so, yeah. I need to finish that. There's 3 levels I need to finish, but
Yeah,
I'm
we'll get there when it's time.
busy.
I want to show Queen a product that I have. So I don't know if you can see it.
What is that?
Oh,
It's a punani.
What's in there?
It's rose, dried herbs, and it's also in a special blend that I have. And what it does basically, the oils that are in there, it helps to combat candida, yeast, and things like that. So you, of course, clean your hands. This one is sealed. I didn't crack it open, but after you're done, you'll drip a couple and you'll just massage the vulva area. So nothing goes into the vaginal canal. It can go around the opening and it can go around the vulva. It's very good for self-care. It's great after a shower for freshness. And it's also great after a wax or a shave.
Is that what you gave me?
Yes.
I got one.
Whatever. What's it called?
It's called punani oil. So that's so I'm Jamaican. So that's the word that we use.
That's Jamaican study.
Yeah, that's the Jamaican thing. So I like it. So and it's so crazy because all of the products that I have in my shop, I use the word download because I feel like I come up with stuff either through a dream or through a thought or something. And, this is definitely a baby made out of love. And it's one of my best products. It's definitely a high seller. I'm about to try to get it in a particular market, and I hope I can. But
that's the question. Do you have like an online shop so people can access? Okay, what is that?
Shop. So if you go to wombmenthings.com, you'll be able to see my courses, you'll be able to see my Etsy shop, and you'll be able to see my service lineup of how to book a session with me. So it's WOMBMEN and THINGS, Wombmenthings.
Wombmenthings. Okay, look, is there like what's the price range? So like for if you want a massage or you want a yoni steam, what is like the price
Sure.
range for
So
something?
the steam is $60. And the massages, they start at 75. Of course, depending on the type of massage that you want or how long you want your session for, it could go up from there. You
What
know,
about the fat massage? The fat, how much
so
that is?
that service is I know I changed it recently. It's about $65 per session, but it's beneficial to do multiple because you're not going to expect. So, what happened with Lynette, it shocked both of us. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, I believe in my services, but I've never seen such a huge, and I mean, we measured twice, right? So, but she also is very good about her hydration. And, you know, I mean, she's like the perfect client. Like, if I could duplicate her, she, you know what I mean? She does what she's supposed to do. Like, if you tell her to do something, she is on it, right? So we did that. But so that I would say about 6 or so sessions will give you the best results. Now, there is a service that I did not mention. It's a Sauna Dome. So earlier you guys mentioned being in the sauna with the heat coming. So I have a sauna dome where you are laying on the table. You're in a dome-like mechanism, so nothing is touching you. Your head is out of the dome, but your entire body is given infrared therapy, and you know it has the weight loss or water loss. Is that the better term, Amadi?
She stayed burning up some fat, D.
Oh, let me tell you, she will go back and forth about it, man. And I rightly so, because I know that's what she does. But
I'm a changed woman. I'm not judging nobody.
oh, I don't think of it as judgment. I think
Now
of
she's
it as
putting
critique.
infrared on the fat. I love it.
Nope,
Infrared.
nope, nope. Nope. I am way more open minded now.
Okay, good. Awesome. So
Awesome.
that one in itself helps. And you know, you're drenched with sweat. So people have reported losing about burning at least about 500 to 600 calories in one 30-minute session. And that is a actual fact.
How much is that?
How much is that service? That one is $50 per session, and it's only about 20-25 minutes that you're sitting under there for.
Do you have packages, or can you like say, well, I want a sauna dome, then I want a fat rub, then I want a yoni steam? You know, can you kind of?
You can, but I would never do that all in one day. So they're all very labor, not so much labor, but it's too much on your body. It's too much detox, too much water loss all at once. And people will tell you that they're drinking and they're drinking enough water. I don't even think I drink enough water, and I know I drink lots of water. For those treatments, I recommend a lot of hydration. And people will say to me, yeah, I've been drinking water. Yeah. But it's too aggressive. So we can do it, and we can do it in stages. So I have one package that incorporates the lymphatic drainage and incorporates the sauna dome, and it also incorporates the yoni steam. But I do that over a period of 10 days. We do a certain sequence. So you get the results on the back end. You have several things that are great for your body. It's all about working things up and eliminating it naturally out of the body. And during that time, it's suggested to eat better, like more green or more cleaner eating. More raw eating is always good while you're going through something like that. I can't tell you what to do because I'm not a dietitian, but I can suggest this during that time. So, you know, there are different things that people can do, different things that I offer. And I'm excited to relaunch everything in March so people can, you know, get back in here and start getting sexy for the summer. Huh?
Where's here?
Here is still in Baltimore. The address will be disclosed soon.
You're not going to drop that bomb? You said
away from the old. I'm sorry?
You said you was going to drop a bomb. I'm waiting on my bomb.
Oh, so that was like a personal one, but I'll still say it. No. I can still say it. So I called D right before, about an hour before, I would say, because I tried calling her yesterday, but I caught her at a bad time, so we never connected. So I did not want her, because we know each other, to say, oh, and refer to a couple of things. And so last year was a very telling year for a lot of us, right? We said 2020 is the year of vision. Well, it damn sure was, right? So for me, I went through a major separation and a divorce. But on the other side of it, for me, it just proved my resilience. It just proved my fortitude, and it also showed me the love that I have around me through the form of my sisters, through the form of my clients, things that you didn't even think people paid attention to, you know what I mean? So it was definitely an eye-opening experience, but I think it just brought me to a other side of happiness that I have not experienced before, and I'm very grateful for it. So there are a lot of changes. This is one of them. So I'm in like a really I can't explain this space that I'm in, but I happiness is the only thing that I can use to properly like give it a succinct response. It's and I hope it's showing because I feel great.
Yeah, you're glowing, and happiness is important. You're glowing.
Thank
You
you.
like a glow with a little a real cherry on top because your hair is
Yeah,
cherry.
right.
You know, but happiness is the best place to be,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you think you're happy, but when you really kind of feel happiness, everything flows well because it gives you the energy of happiness is a great
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
And
You know, so,
even the lowest of times, we've all had a low. Like we didn't think it could get any lower.
sure.
Somebody told me you got to look at it as, it'll just make your success that much sweeter. If you
Yes.
decide to write that autobiography, it'll just make that book that much more interesting and that much more, sweeter, and I'm pretty sure that your happiness right now is very sweet.
Yes, it is. It is.
So I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, and you know what I also think, even working with women too, we define our happiness so much with the presence of someone else. And I feel like for me, it's just over again. It's for so I need a mom, no need a daughter, no need a sister, no need a everything, but just me to myself, right? So for me right now, I feel like when I relaunch in March, my clients are gonna get a version of me that I've not even seen before. It's a woman that is so confident now, just so sure of herself, so sure of her purpose, so sure of her intention, not timid about her approach to life or what she's gifted with. And I shied away from using that word for so long, but the things that I do or the things that come through me, this is not from me. This is not of me. This is not something that I could even conceive. This is of God. He's purposeful and he's deliberate in my life. And I'm just in such an amazing space right now. And I think it's gonna what I'm gonna give to my business is just a version of me that has not been seen before. Let's just say that.
Awesome.
Wow.
Very good.
Awesome. I'm ready
Now
for
we'll
that.
have to say that the previous location is a moot point now, but it was a great space. I walked in, it felt great, it smelled great, it looked great. There was crystals everywhere. There was nice music playing. Her little punani oil was on the side. I mean, she had the table. She ain't lying about that dome thing. Like, yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice. It was worth walking up on them steps.
And you know what, you'll still get that same thing if so I had a massage business exclusively years ago, and people love that space. And then when I redid my second space, oh my god. So every time I change something where you thought you were in love with the first one, wait till you see the second one.
Oh wow.
It's gonna
That's
be
what she
good.
told me.
It's gonna be good
So
because I give it everything I got, and I love. So for me, I'm very intentional with how I care for others. I'm a Cancer sign, so I'm a natural nurturer. It's important for me for you to feel happy. So I do that with my clients. I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel like this is like a retreat, a getaway. And so many times as women, we barely can get an hour out, especially now with the virtual school and kids being home. So I feel like it's important that when they do come, they not only get the service that they paid for, but they get an experience, that they want to come back, they want to reboot, they want to get a moment again.
So let me ask something because is this an experience that you're naked the whole time? a lot of time the freedom from clothing, or some people have problems with that, and some people just love to be naked.
Yeah.
So it's the process where you bucket naked
So,
all
so
the time.
if you're naked and I'm not in the room, let's say that. But for my clients, so I give them the Yoni gown, and if you take it off while you're in treatment, that's totally fine. You'll be in a private space for you. If you decide that you want to keep it covered, that's also fine too. Um, of course, if you're getting a massage, typically you are completely disrobed, but the way we drape and tuck and fold the fabric on the table, there's no part of you that will be exposed unnecessarily. And it's you generally the area that we're working on. So you can be naked if you're on your Yoni chair and you want to receive the service, that's fine. And the only people that have ever that I've seen do that are my more mature women who may have been, they just don't want to deal with that, or there may be a flash or something. So they take everything off. And at that point, I know
And
a
they
lot
don't.
of them are not bashful, so
Yeah.
rock on, sis. Hmm.
As women, we get to a certain age and we like, listen,
Yeah,
I don't care about none of that.
yes, at all,
At
at
all.
all.
You're gonna get it
Yep,
all.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I want you to feel comfortable. So if that makes you feel comfortable, I'll give you a glass of wine or some water or some herbal tea, and you just have your moment.
Excellent, excellent. That sounds like a black woman's paradise right there. You could
Yeah.
get some wine, you could get
Yep.
your fat be gone, your waist be 2 inches
The fat gone.
higher.
Yeah.
That's a black woman's paradise right there.
I
And
want to, I want to believe that it is. I really want to believe that it is. Mhm.
and you're gonna be in the inner city, or are you gonna be in the
Yeah,
county?
so I'm 10 minutes away from my Charles Village location, so I will still be in the city.
Mhm.
And I'm putting the cherry on top, if you will, on the space, so that all that information will be made public on my website, womenthings.com. But for right now, clients are still able to book. Clients are still able to order services, order packages, order products. During COVID, I launched at home kit. So we would do a 2 session consultation, and I would mail you out the herbs that you need, excuse me, and your kit, and then you can do it at home. So a lot of my ladies, so it's not a fad for a lot of people. A lot of people, like, they need this to get through the month, right? So when you think of like some women who have dryness down there and they still want to be intimate with their partner, or some women who are plagued with like endometriosis and sex is painful, or someone whose cycle is not regulated, those are people that need the service, even if Hogan tells me I can't open. So I figured out ways to still address their needs. So you're able to get things like that. But and that's been sustaining people while I've been closed, if you will, at least my store. But I'm ready to open. I miss my clients. I miss that connection. And I'm ready to move forward with it. The only thing I won't be doing anymore is Wind Down Wednesdays, and for obvious reasons. So Wind Down Wednesday was on Wednesdays. So it would be a group of women that would come in together, and they would sit close proximity, sipping on wine, cackling, talking, and then get a little info session on Yoni Steam, and then they would receive their Yoni Steam service. And I did like a little charcuterie board. So it was like a whole vibe. But now with COVID, it's just too much intermingling in a smaller space. So that I would probably reserve to if I do a function where I come to your house and bring the services to you. So it would be more a control group that you've selected, more so than me hosting it at my place, at my studio.
Okay, so is this a walk-in type? Can someone just walk in and say,
No,
or it's all
all
by
by
appointment? Okay.
appointment only. Yeah. So there's a lot of information that you and I need to exchange before you even think that you're a candidate for the service. I want to make sure that you know the contraindication. I want to make sure that you've done your COVID release. I want to make sure that I know who you are. And, so there is a lot of exchanging of information before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, because it's an intimate process.
absolutely.
You have to touch
Absolutely.
people. you know, and people are getting rid of toxins,
Yeah.
and you know, you need to know what you're
Yeah.
dealing with. So,
And energetically
I
too,
get it.
it's heavy for me. So I also need to prepare myself for what's coming on, you know, spiritually, energetically, things like that. So healing any type of forum. I'm sure Amaadi experienced that even with her personal training, is like people will come around you and, you know, their vibe is off there, you know. So
I
you
was just telling my partner, I was just saying this morning. I was like, I love my clients, but they're two clients. I am tired when I'm done with them, and all I'm doing is sitting here telling them what to do. I'm not even working out with them, and I be wanting to take a nap when I'm done with them because it's you know.
And maybe this is where you need to incorporate some Reiki sessions before they start. You may need to like silence all of that noise that's going on up here with them, because they're dumping it all on you. And even though you do a good job of like cutting that out, it's probably annoying to have to deal with though.
Yeah. See, it's also in my nature to nurture and to help
Yeah.
unblock,
Yeah.
and you know, so that takes from me, you know. So yeah, so I have learned not to do back-to-back sessions anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I learned. So anyway.
So Noni, since you're the healer, what do you do to relax?
Oh my
I mean,
gosh. No need to
what is
heal.
your go-to? What do you do for
So
Noni?
I'm about to sound real crazy, but ever since massage school, my teacher would be so mad at me. Noni, you have to get on the table too. You can't just massage all the time. I honestly, and I promise you, I'm not trying to say this to blow smoke. I literally get relaxed giving a massage. I know that sounds real crazy. I know, I know. I've literally fallen asleep already doing somebody's scalp massage. Can you believe that? I've literally like
You fell asleep?
I nodded off. It was just the music, the vibe, everything was just, I mean, it was so zen, right? I literally get so relaxed. Apart from that, you know,
Wow.
Well, whenever you want to relax and do some self-care, you can come give me a massage, no problem.
hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But aside from that, I like to listen to music. I like to take drives. I like to walk through home goods. Not judge me.
No, I'm like, when you going?
I'm
Shoot.
like, where you going? I love
They know
home
me.
goods.
They know me, and I have my messing
Know
about
me.
coat on, huh?
No, I was repeating what you said. They know me.
Because I have my messing about coat on, the one with the queen
Yeah.
through like a king. So I'll walk in there, right, and they'll look at me, and I mean, like, so when I was relocating, I was, you know, figuring out what I wanted to put in here and things like that. So literally for like a whole week, I was there every day, walking through. And they were looking at me like, and I was looking at them like, what the problem is? You know, I'm coming back tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Because they get shipment almost all the time. And you know that no two items, you go there and see one thing, and then, you know, like, I wish I could turn this camera around real quick so you could see, but like some of the things that I get, you know, little things that I can put out, you know. I don't know if you can see some of the items, but
I can see.
I get cute little things from there, and everybody's always, oh my God, where'd you get that?
I love home goods. I love home goods. You know, I love that spot. So are you the mess in the bottle?
No, God, I aspire to be Kalila.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I was like, it can't be the same person. I mean, okay, because I know that.
No, that's Dee's homegirl. No, she
I know that's Dee's homegirl. I know that. I
she
thought I
is
had double. I was
amazing.
like, you her too? Because I heard
No,
the mess in the bottle.
her coat. She has a very distinct camel coat that I love, that I wear it like ragged. But no, she's amazing. She's Jamaican. She's a boss. She's doing everything.
That's what I thought when you said Jamaican. I was like, well, you might be, but you're not. Okay.
I'm getting there.
So that's another one. Yeah, because she's doing the marathons and the running and messing the bottle.
She's amazing. Yeah, she's
okay. Excellent. So when it comes to, okay, so you're going to open in March, reopen, right? In March. So are you going to have some like little discounts, or what are you gonna have to draw the people in? Because I'm gonna be the first one because I need the fat.
Well, I'll tell you this, and this is
I
not
need
this
the fat.
in the
So
simplest way I know how to say this. I don't have to draw them in; they are filling up the calendar, right?
I
So in the
know that's
simplest
right.
way, and
That's
then
how
I'll
you
tell you how
gotta
to
tell
say.
them.
And
I love it.
in terms of discounts, I offer packages, and
Mm-hmm.
I try to work with people, but it's also, it's also a business. So,
I get it. I get
meet
it.
in
I
the
get
middle.
it. Yeah, some people, when they open again, they have like blowouts. So I just wanted to see what you would have. But that's something you could think about.
Yeah,
Have
I'll
something
toy with the
but you say your
idea.
calendar is bustling. You don't need that. I get it.
It's filling up, and I'm so thankful. I'm appreciative of everything, and I have not massaged like a traditional massage in over a year. And because I was doing yoni steam and I was teaching, and I had stopped massaging when COVID really happened, it just kind of like, because if you knew what we had to do to massage, you literally are changing your shirt after every client. They want you to wear full PPE. The table has to be a certain covering over it, facial mask, face shield. So there was so much. And then, of course, last spring, the death rate, we were so scared with everything that was going on. So I opted not to do that, because a big part of my service with massaging, like if you're laying supine towards the end, I'm literally right over your face working on your neck and shoulders. So you're breathing and I'm breathing. And even though you're covered, it's still a level of proximity that I wasn't comfortable with at that time. But, a lot has changed. There's a lot now that I'm more aware of. So I'm offering it again. And I take every single precaution, even before COVID. But because it was airborne, it put a level of, craziness in the mix. But I did a client, I had my first client back on Sunday, and she messaged me Monday morning. She's like, Noni, this is the best sleep I've had in a year, and it just reaffirmed why I love it so much. So yeah,
Mm.
this will be next month. I'll be
You should,
busy.
I need to see some of those testimonials on your Instagram page.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you for tasking me. I'll make
Yes.
sure that I do
Yeah,
that.
put that out so
I have
people can.
seen, I think you said her name is La Bruja, right? I
Yeah.
have seen
Oh,
you post her.
mhm.
Yeah, I've seen you post her
Yeah.
sometime.
She's so dope. She's so dope. And all my girlfriends, they've showed up for me in so many ways. And I think it's me more than anything else that they offer to post, and I'm just so, what's the word? I want to say humble, but I don't think that's the one. But I'm just like, I don't want a lot of pomp and circumstance, like I just, even though I know this is the age and this is the, we need to do this and we need to shine light on I'm not that business owner. I'm more of, you, if that's your lane and you want to have the limelight, that's fine. I actually have a colleague of mine that does my social media for me, because if it was up to me to just like stand on my soapbox, wouldn't happen. So
So
even
how do you,
right now is a challenge for me, but
you're
I'm here.
doing
Looks like
great.
you're doing damn good. Shoot.
So how do you find your customers?
How do I
Yes.
find my customers? So a lot of social media. And to be very honest, there are a lot of women walking around with issues related to reproductive health. The statistic is jarring, it's alarming, especially in the Black community. So getting the clients, you once you put out the word that this is what you offer, I'm telling you, from talking to a room of 5 people, at least 3 people are gonna want to book the service before you go, because when you think of it, wellness, regulation, taking care of your mental health, taking care of the odor, taking care
That's
of,
it. Yeah.
it's so many different things, the pH balance, the BV or the yeast infection, or
Just the
um
relaxation
trying
part
to get
too.
pregnant. Yeah, anything. The statistics will show that at least 1 in 3 have these conditions. So, and as long as you make your service accessible and you make your price right, people will even come to try once. They'll come back because of how you took care of them, right? So
Mm.
for me, when COVID happened and I had to like pivot and shift, I really embraced having that more intimate, that follow up, that phone call, because everything is so automated. So they were booking online, they were doing that, coming in, and they would get the auto email. So when COVID happened, it allowed me to go old school, pick up the phone and call and follow up. And I've really connected with working with people on that level again.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah.
find that people, when when people call, I pick up the phone,
Yeah.
and they're thinking it's someone else,
Yeah.
but they,
Yeah. Cause
but that
like,
find that people are like, wow,
yeah,
and they really want to talk to you,
they
and
really
so
do.
I try to, you have to be sometimes available to your
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
We
People like that
we
human
become so
connection.
automated.
Yeah.
Yeah, we become so digital and so automated and everything, and respond quickly. But sometimes people just want to talk. They want to hear your voice, and
Yeah.
it brings a level of intimacy to your business, and people like, wow, I'm talking to the person. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Even with my students. So there was a lady in I think she's in Texas. She's in a beautiful Southern accent. She called me and she's like, she's an esthetician and she has a client that has a question about Yoni steam. So I'm like, are you a student? She's like, no, but I'm gonna take your course next month. So I said, okay. So I was driving. I said, if she doesn't mind talking freely over the phone and with you in earshot, I'll be happy to hear what her issue is. So it was the issue with pH, sex, husband, orgasm, ejaculation, that whole bit. So when I told her that, the girl was like, she said, oh, okay, I'm definitely going to make some changes, some adjustments there. But the young lady who dialed the phone, she's like, Noni, you don't know how much I appreciated that, because I know you're going to be my teacher, if you will, for the course. But the fact that I can call you and talk with you, that just brings a level of it that I appreciate. Now, it won't happen all the time, because if I'm with a client, the phone is off. But for the most part, I do recognize that it's new to a lot of people. There's still a stigma. They still don't know. So while I'm available, I'll always answer the phone.
So can you talk a little bit about your courses? Like walk us through, like if someone signs up for a course, what should they expect?
Okay. Right. So I offer the Yoni Steam certification course through two ways. You can do online by yourself, self-paced. So you just pay, log in, and you take the class for as long as you want. You have access to the class forever and a day. So if you took the course in January and say your business isn't popping off until the summer, you can log back in and revisit the material and freshen up. You do take a quiz at the end for me to test your aptitude, and then upon successful completion, your certificate is mailed out. So that's if you choose the online option. If you are a more visual learner, more in-person learner, I do offer here in Baltimore one-on-one classes. So I give you, I don't know if you can see it, a textbook version of my content, as well as a Yoni chair, as well as access to my second e-course, which I'll tell you about in a second. And I also give them a couple of other perks. So with that one, it's like a 7-hour day that we are here working and learning together. That one I love because it allows me to kind of like deviate a little from the content and maybe give a little bit more information or scenarios, or she might have a question and we go back and forth. But I find that students love that because they're learning on their specific I guess, yeah. And even with the online course too, I'm a visual learner, so I wrote it thinking like myself. I want somebody who has never known nothing about Yoni Steam to be able to capture the information and learn what they need to learn, and by the end of it, feel confident to apply this to their lifestyle or to their business.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. Listen, I thought of something, like because I've been to a male masseuse.
Uh-huh.
Um, and is this something males can do with yoni steaming and
So I'm gonna answer that question, but I'm gonna say one thing. So anybody who is a massage therapist, we cringe at the word masseuse or masseur. Yeah,
pardon me.
yeah.
Really, I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, so we say body work or massage therapist. So the masseuse masseur sounds professional and nice, but generally it equates to somebody who's not trained in the service.
Well, that's
But
probably why he was a masseuse. He is a masseuse.
oh, okay. So men can receive the service, and of course men can perform the service. There's not a lot of men that are actively practitioners doing the protocol for different reasons, but there are men that receive it. And it particularly has benefits surrounding prostate health. I do not offer, I repeat, I do not offer at this time. Wombmenthings does not offer public. I do
Men
not offer
things.
wives that have beautiful husbands, that have sons, that have loving partners. I do not offer. I will not at this time offer. I did an interview once, and I swear
What
that guy.
you don't offer?
Huh?
Tell me what you don't offer. You do not offer it at all, eh?
At all. This
But
girl.
I wonder. A man has a closed system. Where women womb, of course, is an open system. Men's systems are closed, per se.
They're steaming their butthole.
That's what I'm saying. So the
Yeah.
steam is more of the anus.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah. So
it's nothing to do with their penis or the
no,
gonads.
no.
The
It has more
gonads
to
or
do with
anything.
their anus, and so that's why I said more prostate health.
Got
So
it. Got it.
and
So the
also
gonads are considered to get like a steaming.
they might get some love, it may get some attention, but that's not the focal point.
That's not a focus. So it's truly the anus and then the prostate. You're right. It's through the. Okay.
Yeah. And
Got
it's super beneficial. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't offer it. People should offer anything that makes them receive that optimal health that they're looking for. But at this time, I do not offer that.
I got it. Because Black men are the leading in
Absolutely.
prostate cancer.
Yes.
So they're the group that leads in prostate cancer. So it is advantageous if steaming can alleviate the issues that Black men are having with prostate cancer. I know stress is a big issue with Black men.
Yeah.
And but if steaming is something that can help that, I didn't know that. That would be amazing.
You know what? You kind of you're alluding to a point that I want to stress here with people. So you can't come one day out of the month or 2 days out of the month to do a protocol and expect for it to shift things in your life. So stress is not something that can be fixed in 1 hour. There are lifestyle changes that need to be made. So I will personally say, and I'll advocate for anybody who's having any kind of stressful life, that you need to find the root of it. So for me, one of the beautiful things that happened in 2020 is I went back into therapy. So that within itself was great. So when you can find your trigger, when you can find your stress, it makes the results for my sessions that much more better, because you're doing the work, you're applying the work that you need to apply. I even wrote a course, Holistic Approach to Fertility. And it's really about learning what the body needs to be in the best possible state for conception. So for some women, you can just breathe on them and they're pregnant. But then for others, it's more of a grind, and it's more of like a difficult process. So there's sleeping, there's stress, there's diet, there's lifestyle. There are so many different things that attribute to that reproductive health. So it breaks it up into different sections and things that they can do, foods in their cabinet that they should avoid, or things that they should beef up on, like substituting caffeine, more taking some kind of herbal teas, doing more greens, things that will nourish the womb and nourish the lifestyle, or to support your body being healthier, if you will, for conception.
So I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind divulging, like your demographic makeup, the demographic makeup of your clients, like the tip, like, on average, what does your client look like?
So on average, my client right now, and I am loving it, it's younger to honestly, it's anywhere from like early 20s to even 70-year-old women, primarily African-American women. I do have some women of different ethnic backgrounds that come see me, but it's primarily African-American women. And one of the most beautiful, 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 beautiful thing that I can see is where there are 3 generations of women sitting on a yoni chair side by side. That will make me tear up. You know what I'm saying? A mother and a daughter and a granddaughter. Nothing like it. Because
Amazing.
it shows me how they are all it's just generations of healing, You know, you don't know, and she's taking care of her belly, and that's her seed, her children from it's so it's something that it's being passed down still.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that I'm really happy to see, but it's mainly women of color, and the age ranges vary because it it works with you, the service works with you from just seeing your period all the way up to menopause.
Does it help with menopausal?
Absolutely. So with menopause, you have hormonal issues, right? So there are certain herbs that help with regulating different hormones, and then there's also hot flashes. There's also sleeping issues like insomnia. There's also dryness down there, so it helps to bring back moisture to that area. And then also because there's a depletion of estrogen, we can even replace it with herbs that are mimic estrogen, like red clover. So things like that, even drinking the herbal tea while you're steaming can help to um, make her feel young again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So,
Mm.
Red clover, Kim over, red clover,
hey,
come
yeah,
over.
there you go.
But that's what's up. Listen, you know what? I was thinking about something because you said this and it segues into this question. Black women are the major dynamic in hysterectomies from fibroids and having these tumors that are usually non-cancerous
Hmm.
that can be inside or outside of the uterus. Um, if you've had your uterus removed from fibroids, how can yoni steams, because usually when you have a hysterectomy,
Hmm.
some people have the full and everything,
Hmm.
and partial, I think that leaves your ovaries,
Uh-huh.
but everything, and then your cervix, most people take the cervix out because for cancer,
Hmm.
and then all of the other fallopian tubes, all that is gone. Ovaries actually secrete estrogen,
Hmm.
so you don't want to, if you're still young, to kind of, if you're having this problem, to take those out.
Right.
So with a yoni steam, how does that particularly help those type of women who don't have, who lost their uterus?
Great question. So you'll still have symptoms of menopause, believe it or not,
You
because
will.
it's like your body is going into that state with what's going on. And as a result, I normally care for them in that same way. I normally treat them that way. So there's a lot of hormone issues going on. So
Mm-hmm.
we target the herbal blend based on what the body is deficient in. And typically it's the same type of symptoms, you know, as with somebody with menopause, so we would do it that way. And to be very honest with you, I always say it's similar to, and please forgive me audience and hosts, but when a limb is missing from your body, there are still symptoms, or we call it phantom symptoms, of that limb or that missing body part
Yeah.
still being there. So in a lot of ways, we still want to treat the body as if it's still there, as if she's still whole, right?
Mm-hmm.
That there's nothing deficient, nothing gone, that she's not missing anything, that she is still adequate, that she's still whole. So I like treating it as such, but observing it with my different ingredients, because we still want to address the feeling of the hot flashes or whatever other symptoms she might be receiving. So we'll do herbs to address whatever her issues are presenting. But I don't look at it like um, something is missing. I treat it like she's a client coming in for that, but we treat it like menopause.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, women of all ages are having hysterectomies. Young
Yeah.
women,
Yeah.
um, they're pushing young women towards hysterectomies,
Yeah.
and so they're not even near a
Yeah.
menopausal state.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if the yoni steam would be something that is something that can be
So
therapeutic for that type
yeah,
of woman.
absolutely. So here's what I always say to people. So fibroids can be teeny tiny and fibroids can be huge. If you have like a fibroid that's the size of a melon, I'm that's messing with your quality of life. I would not normally tell people to go and do surgery, but I would tell them in a case like that, because losing blood is very fatal. The amount of blood that a woman will lose in some of the way it's coming out like clots sometimes. Are so weak, right? At that point, I would definitely advocate for surgery because your quality of life is not very good, right?
Right.
But if it's like newly discovered fibroids, dietary changes, lowering your caffeine, more greens, proper diet and exercise, as well as steaming, I would say you are headed in the right direction.
Headed in the right direction. So
Yeah.
there's therapies to help that process.
Yes.
And because fibroids, in my most belief, is starts with your diet. Because
Absolutely.
it's a collection of trash.
You are not wrong. You're not wrong. And
And
it also has to do with, sorry to cut you, also has to do with a generation of women that were given birth control at an early age that was not low in estrogen, that was years of estrogen dominant medication inside your body. And estrogen is like the super juice for fibroids, right? So when those things happen, you have a group of women that are my age now dealing with this, because when we were teenagers, that was the go-to. She was having cramps, put her on this. She was having heavy periods, put her on this. Like my daughter, she's 10. She just saw her period last month. And I mean, I'm like, I'm so happy, right? But the thing of it is, at the same breath, her father's grandmother, her father's mother, she's Southern, she's older, she wants to, so you don't have any cramps yet? You're gonna have cramps. I've never had a cramp a day in my life. And that's how my daughter's gonna be, and I'm claiming it, right? But her grandmother will tell her, you gotta take this. So there's a thing called BC, I guess some kind of powdery.
BC powder?
Yes. That's what she wants my 10-year-old to take.
Whoa.
What is BC powder?
It's for pain. It's a pain med.
But it's more like, it's, so you know how capsules are time released and you can take capsules with water? BC powder is like the contents of the capsule.
Yep. It's like Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's the powder part.
No. So she's telling my daughter, and I know, and you're laughing, but this is how we are, this is what needs to be rewired. They're telling young girls, this is what you need to do. So I bought her some pads and stuff. She's like, those not gonna do nothing. So you don't have to have big, bulky, suitcase looking pads between your legs. Times are different, right? So I see the necessity to educate, because
a lot of us need to be retrained in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
Mentally, physically.
I'll tell you this. In my course, I go over the menstrual cycle, and you'll say to me, but everybody should know the menstrual cycle. No, because we only think it's the days that we see the blood. There's a lot that the body is still doing that we need to be aware of. And especially if you're trying to help a woman trying to conceive, you need to know her pre-ovulation period. You need to know when she's ovulating, when she's most susceptible to be pregnant, and then what happens to the body afterwards. So when I break that down for them, grown women like myself, they don't know. So I don't assume that people understand certain things, because they have generations of women. And I will say this, in case she listens to this radio show at some point, she's a wonderful lady, but there's definitely a generational gap, and her information that she knows, it's not.
Yeah, it's outdated.
I don't want to use the word outdated, because here I am teaching a traditional 1,000-year-old technique, but it's been edited. It's been
it's been edited, but we don't understand. And I said this today, that technology has touched everything that we've done, from teaching to pads to the way that even meals, they come in the mail.
Right.
I mean, this is where we are. We're in a technological society that has changed every norm. And then Rona came in and then flipped us into straight digital. So the things that my mother, who's 81 tomorrow.
Birthday, Mom.
Yeah, she's 81 tomorrow. I'm going down south to see her. But you know, the things she says to me sometimes, I don't say anything because I want her to talk to me. But I'm rolling my head, my eyes under, because I'm like, That is so old.
Right.
Yeah,
It is.
but if you can think of it, you know, if you have children and you know, hopefully get to see your grandchildren.
Yep. They're gonna
And,
do the same to me.
and so you might now tell your grandchild, make sure you have your mask just in case, even though we're no longer wearing masks,
Even
right?
though, because this was
Because
so
we've been,
prominent in my mind.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yep,
I'll take the advice from my elders all the time, but I draw the line where you are medicating unnecessarily.
yeah, that's yeah, yeah.
That part I draw the line with because
Especially with the 10-year-old.
with a
Yeah.
10-year-old and I'm 5'9", my daughter is about 5'8". She's tall. She's gonna be tall.
Whoa.
She's 10 and she's 5'8".
Oh,
And we're almost looking each other in the face, you
at
know. My
10.
dad is
Okay.
6'4", so she's a pretty tall young lady. But because I mention her height because you forget she's only 10 a lot of times. You know, she speaks well, she's very educated,
Mhm.
and she can hang with the best of them. But she's only 10. 10 years ago, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you know.
She's
10
as
and
tall as my
5'8".
14-year-old
Oh
boy.
my gosh, wow. Oh wow.
Yep.
Wow. These kids, I'm telling you, they're weeds.
Mm,
They're a different set. Yeah, 5'8" at 10. That's amazing. Wow.
their feet are, yeah.
Okay. So, D, you got all your questions out?
I mean, you know, I could stay on here forever, but I know it's 8:01.
It's 8:01. We about to go down
Just,
some.
you know,
Yeah.
respecting everyone's time on the platform. I mean, it's very easy to talk to Noni. It's very easy to talk to you.
Likewise.
So I'm just, you know, I thought of you and I'm like, oh my God, the knowledge in her head needs to be shared
Thank
Yeah.
with
you.
women because I feel like our work complements each other. We focus on
Absolutely.
different things, but they are related. And the people that we serve are pretty much the same people, and we're in the same city.
Mhm.
So I just like that would be a perfect fit. So I'm very grateful that you agreed to come onto the show and to share your information.
Absolutely. It was my absolute pleasure. And thank you for thinking of me. And definitely, I always think of you with the work that you do. I mean, up to today, I was talking about you to a colleague of mine. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to share this information. And it's very timely. And I know this is all divine. I know this is not of me, that this is happening right before my relaunch. So I'm grateful. If anyone is interested in booking, or purchasing products or taking one of my courses, womenthings.com is where all my information is. A way to contact me is through my Instagram as well, which is the same name, Womenthings, WOMBMENTHINGS.com. And all my contact information is listed there as well.
I love it. I don't even have to tell you to say your final.
I was ready, ready.
I'm telling you, I'm like, you might need the co-host. You're pretty good at this.
we might need to be triplets.
Yeah. I'm like, you know it.
All got on black shirt.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what the thing about this is?
Oh,
Yeah, we do. One of the biggest things is Black women need this. First of all, we need the community to come together to talk and to share and have because we have like experiences as Black women.
yeah.
But on top of that, we're all doing something in our own space.
Yeah.
And utilizing, usually in that space, we can utilize each other.
Absolutely.
You know, and the synergy of what this does is brings us together and we can continue. Because I didn't know about you. So now I know about you. I got to come and get some services. And then I can tell my line of folks about your services, and then you can tell about, but that's how we build out. But we got to do it together.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think that this is really great. I just love the information that you gave. I can burn my fat off. I love it. I'm just having a good
See,
day.
that's the one that stuck with her,
That's stuck with me. Because you know, this is Amaadi's playground, you know. I'm just
okay.
Yeah, I'm just rolling with her. Yeah, I'm the side. I'm the side chick, sis. you meet her and I come along.
Right. Got it. Okay.
So I'm just rolling with her and learning as I go. And I'm so blessed to have her. I really am.
She has definitely been just amazing
Yes.
day one.
And I really appreciate you coming through, Sister Noni. We got
My
it.
pleasure.
acquainted. You know, I know Lynette has been on my show, I think 3 times. So the Bruja and me are real acquainted.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
she's
yeah, and she's amazing. She's crazy as hell. I just love me some Bruja. So it seems that the same people know the same people.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? D? It's like everybody who is in that same little synergy.
Yeah, and they're all dope.
They're all dope in their own way. So, you know, it's amazing when I hear the people, you know, I know some of those folk and they're dope. You know, so I really appreciate this. We're gonna continue. I'm riding with D, the FiTT twins. I'm the broke twin, but I'm here.
You ain't broke, baby. You're not broke.
Yeah, we're gonna make that thing work. Sister Noni, thank you so much for
My
all of the
pleasure. Thank you, ladies.
And you can book you through Wombmenthings, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is your calendar there too?
My calendar is there, and starting this weekend, the dates will be plugged in for people to start being able to book again. I temporarily blocked it down for obvious reasons, but the days that I do have left available for April, it will be opened up.
That's the early
March.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. I gotta wait till April to get a state.
No. Most of March is booked up, but there are some spots left. So I'm gonna plug the available dates in, and then moving forward, everything should.
I love it. I'm gonna book me some time.
Yeah, thanks. Awesome. I cannot wait to see you, Queen. And Amaadi, I can't wait to see you.
All hugs, all hugs.
I haven't seen I guess it's been a year.
Wow.
It has been, because February was my last session with you. And girl, I was making progress too. But
he was making progress.
Well, you know, COVID has changed everything. So we're gonna after COVID, it's gonna be something for people. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And this should be the time that you're creating, and that's what you're doing. You know.
Yeah.
You know, this should be the time. So bless you. Bless your business, bless your launch. And we will definitely stay in touch. I really appreciate you coming to Black Box Radio. Our Black Boxes are so appreciative of all the information. Blessed and good night. Peace out.
Peace.
Okay, so what did you? She's amazing. I love Wombmenthings.
I know how to pick them.
Yes, you. I'm telling you, I'm riding with you, Sean. The other side chick. Yeah, I love this information. You know, I really do. And it's more than fitness. You know, it's wellness. And it's also relationship. You know, I see these relationships being conjured by the information and just being like people and having like experiences. I really love this. You know, the FiTT TWiNS is more than I thought it could be.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to, you know, and we don't necessarily have to have a guest every month, but just to keep it interesting, you know, and not only interesting, but diverse in information, because I personally don't want to come on here and repeat myself and same old, and then it's predictable, and then we kind of lose viewership, and it's like, okay, what's the point if no one's watching? But if we catch them off guard and we get them with a right hook on badge team, and then get them with a left hook on gut health, and you know what I mean? They're gonna be
I like the guests, because you know, you can actually put your business into the guests because of what you're doing. You know, your FiTT tribe and working with women always complements what these women are doing. Each one that came in, they work with you or they know what you're doing. And so it kind of complements what you're doing, you know, and that's a greater thing, that really, when I hear you talk, you're kind of explaining what you do through them. You know, so I love the guests. I definitely love the guests, but definitely we don't have to have guests every month. Next month, though, I want to make a power move, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We're going to end this. So you enjoyed yourself. We're going to talk off camera. So you enjoyed yourself. I enjoyed myself.
I did.
Noni Brown is the truth. She really is.
Yep. I love her. She is awesome. She is very authentic. Mm-hmm. She's professional. She's, you know, she has been, is, and will continue to do great things for Black women.
Love it. Love it. In Baltimore City. So that's another Black woman in Baltimore City doing big things.
Yeah, that hidden gem that most people don't even know about this information, let alone her. So I think it would be awesome to have her on here, because I know one of your criteria one of your criteria is for them to be in Baltimore. And I know one time or 2 times they weren't, but.
No, it's not really a criterion, but the bigger, to build our footprint in is where we are to get these relationships. And then we can conjure, the world is going to see us, but I want to bring some of the people that we're around.
That makes sense though. Yeah.
Give them attention. Yeah, it's not a criterion. Black people are great everywhere. We just so dope, Yeah, so I don't care where they come from, as long as they're brown or black or blue black, pink black,
right.
It's black.
Right.
All right. So peace. I'm gonna end the recording.